Hello and welcome to Toolbox for the Trades. I'm Amanda Salvatore, and today I spoke with Caren Bueno, Service Division Coordinator at Corbett Irrigation in Massachusetts. For Caren, building isn't just a profession, it's a life philosophy. After starting her career as a civil engineer, she has applied those same principles to her personal journey. She has successfully built a legacy, a career, and a team from the ground up, all while navigating a foreign country and an industry she stumbled into by accident. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. Caren Bueno, you are the Service Division Coordinator at Corbett Irrigation in Massachusetts. Thank you so much for coming on Toolbox for the Trades today.
Appreciate you having me here. Thank you, Amanda.
We are going to be discussing a lot about how to build from the ground up in many different areas within your business and also personally, which I think is something that everyone is always striving to do, build bigger and stronger. So, very excited to get into it. First and foremost, we like to always start with a little bit of an icebreaker here on Toolbox for the Trades. And since we are about to enter into some, hopefully, summer fun in the next few weeks, I'd love to hear your favorite summertime activity.
So I'm Brazilian, so I do love going to the beaches and just enjoying the outside weather, the sun, and yeah, having that. But I live in Massachusetts now, and the beaches here are a bit cold and all the season that we have around here. So at this time, I like to see myself enjoying the outside as much as I can, seeing the green grasses outside. I do work with irrigation, so it just makes sense, And yeah, I do like to see myself as a bear over the winter. I just like to stay inside. We gotta wait until July, August first to be able to feel really the beach and get in the water and feel okay. This is good. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
I
think.
hear that. It takes a minute. It takes a minute up there for sure. Well, let's dive in. You came to the United States as an au pair from Brazil, and now you're running the service division operation for an irrigation company in Massachusetts. Walk me through how you found yourself in the trades.
Very like, oh my God, how do I start from here? Because I don't know. I feel like it came from my father, this feeling of just trying to build a better life for yourself, just trying to do your best and see what life gets to you. And it's funny thinking, talking about this and all this stuff and having the moments to really appreciate where I came from and where I can get. And I am also a civil engineer back home. I did take this degree, and my father, he owns this store for so long, and I worked with him since I was a kid. I usually could like really install things with him and know how to use these equipment and things. But working with sound, it's something
Yeah.
that it gets, and I needed to try my own way because if not, I was just taking it. And taking it for, I don't know, I just didn't feel right to take it for granted and take as something mine. And I wanted to see the world. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to open my mind. And my mom always used to say that she always knew I wanted to hug the world and I want to try to do a lot of things at the same time. And it's crazy. And it's crazy for me to feel like I couldn't without everybody's support. So hearing my father build his story, seeing that fire of him having a better life for himself and now having a child and having to try to show this and to not take things for granted as well just because I can try to have a little bit better like on something. It's not something that he has it, it's his, and trying to show this for kids. I don't know, it's just, yeah, I don't know how I got here, but again,
But you're here and you're doing amazing, amazing work. So you started in Brazil and you studied civil engineering. You
correct.
come to the United States as an opportunity to see the world, to get out there and really take life by the hand and attack it. And you find yourself in this irrigation company. How did you find yourself? I guess my question is, how did you find yourself in irrigation specifically?
When I was an au pair, I stayed with this amazing Turkish family, which I also have a lot of care. I was a COVID au pair, so that means it was hard. It was in that hard time, not like and far away from all these things. With this family, I learned a lot. They are super special for me, and we're still super friends. But grown up life. And in this meantime, I met my partner in life now, who we used to be an installer for the technique installer here for the company. And yeah, it's an amazing company. And let me tell you a little bit about that, just because I know my boss is going to listen. And he does like to say
You gotta.
that in every meeting. And I always say, yeah, let's go. Anyway, our core values at Corbett Irrigation are family, pursuit of perfection, and preservation of our natural resources. And our vision is to be better. Corbett did this amazing project at Air High School, who is a high school here. My boss's kids grown up there, so there is the community. And at this time, they invited everybody at Corbett and their spouses, their kids. Anyway, at this day, like I was able to really meet Corbett, really meets my bosses, and I am a hands-on girl. I am let's go try to make things happen, girl. So I was there digging holes and trying to understand things, and then they kind of invited me for an interview, and then we clicked, and then Aspire came on board, and then all the magic, and we're here now. And I will tell you, it's crazy because now I am a certified technician irrigation, even though I am just an office girl. But this year, I took the test with my partner, which, full disclosure, he's my boss. He's my manager. He's the service division manager now. And like being part of this and being able to see him grow. And when I came on board, he was in transition to be a supervisor already. But I was with him when he was an installer, and then COVID came and all that uncertainty. But at the same time, like Corbett just accepted him, and then they just invited me over, and they accept me on my weirdest days and my weirdest times, and we just make it happen, and it's just the team. This is why I wanted to talk about the family part, like it's the family place here. And yeah. Anyway.
It sounds like you found your footing and that you are in a place where they value your insight, they value who you are, they value the work that you're doing. So, and
That's
it really shows. Now, I know when you came to the States, you wrote a little mantra down on a piece of paper, and I'm obsessed with it, honestly, and I've been utilizing it in my own life since we last talked. Can you tell our listeners what you wrote on that piece of paper?
Yeah, as they can, and I would love to sing Portuguese and English. I did write that eu não tô aqui para passar sua raiva, and that literally means like I'm not here only to get stressed out. I know the price I'm paying. I know the miss and the word, another Brazilian word, sorry, saudade. It's just who lived the moment, and who lived this special things with your family and these moments that it's in your heart and it's not really translated to the missing. It's not really messy. It's that good feeling that like you lived with these people, and that you will for sure be that again. This is what makes me wake up and and come here with a smile and try to cheer up my team. And I don't know, it's just all those nice things that are going on here that I'm so grateful.
I love this idea of I didn't come here to only be stressed. And I know today we're going to talk a little bit about some stressful situations or situations that could feel stressful, but with this mindset it seems like you've really conquered this idea. So let's dive in. I know a lot of people inherit a system that's already been built. They come into a company, this is the software we're using, but you actually had to build it yourself. What was the hardest part of being that person to be the first one to figure it all out? How did you set up yourself for success?
And that was a road, and it's still being as long as like in winter time everybody's like, yes, I got this, I know what I'm doing now. And then the first hot, you know it just comes and hits you, and like, okay, it's there, we got to improve some areas here. It's it's that feeling and that pursuit that I said about trying to be better a little bit every day. We know you're not gonna get there, and we know you're gonna not make everybody happy, but you know what? We're gonna try. We're gonna try very, very hard because there's values for us, and was this why this mentor for me makes more sense because I'm here to make it happen somehow, some way. And I want to be someone that my little sister looks up to and say, yeah, I can try something like that. I don't know where I want to be. She wanted to be in Japan. Like, go for it, girl. Nothing's stopping you, literally.
I love
Literally
this
not.
idea. Yeah, I love this idea of even if something is hard and you're having to build it from scratch or really coming at it from, the ground floor, if you will, to not fear it necessarily, but take on this challenge and look at it as an opportunity to learn and to build. So what would be your advice to those who are listening who are about to embark on that journey?
The journey, it goes and it has the ups and downs. And when I started here, I make this joke with my amazing coworker that I went from a Coco Melon English to, actually leaving voicemails and making phone calls and making hard calls as well. And, being the person who translated into the Portuguese and to the English. And all these things at the same time. And at the same time that it was challenging, I didn't know what to do. So I studied Aspire as much as I could. I went in, I watched the videos, tried to get ready in this first before the season started because I knew it was coming, something big. And I just wanted to be as much ready as I could for my team that, a stranger was just gonna call them and start asking those things, and they trusted me. I feel like this process of the beginning of me just trying to learn something that nobody really knew. It was hard, but the trust that they had on me, on this weird girl that Cocomelon English, just trying to make the run for it, and she's just like, go get it, go for it.
Yeah.
They give me the support. So that makes me fly. It's not like something that we are able to build and we are happy with it because I'm always looking to talk with people and like, how do you do this? Really, like
Mm.
how? Because I have so many questions on this. This is how you're able to do, but tell me how. And, just try to figure out ways to make things work, make our clients happy because in the end of the day, that's important, like it is important as much as we know, as much as we can get prepared, we can be better able to reply to these questions from the clients. So it's a process. I'm not gonna lie. It's like it's being built, but I feel like I am so happy to talk Aspire anytime because I feel like it was my opportunity. And in the end, everybody's looking for an opportunity for you to do something right. And from an au pair, it's just like, okay, it was a big jump and that was my chance. And I'm so thankful for Aspire. But sometimes when the uploads come, it's like, yes, girl. But we're dealing with them. I still like them, go Aspire.
That's good to hear. So it seems like your advice would be reach out, ask questions, utilize those resources, watch those videos, especially when you're maybe in those wintertime months so you can feel prepared and hit the ground running when you enter busy season, as well as finding opportunities to learn while in the field and learning from your clients and for your customers what their expectations are, what their needs are, and being able to implement that as well.
It's funny because I was reaching out in the community in Aspire because I really was like, okay, what can I do to make our everything flow better, And it was starting asking these questions to them and how they're doing report, how are doing this and that. And then Brie, our amazing community manager there, I don't know, she's just so nice and she just reaches out to me and she tries to connect me with people that she thinks I can try to help. And she tries to, she just tries to do this all little thing. And since I started, I was actually looking for something like this, where I could ask questions and try to reach someone that could answer, but at the same time understands not to reach me in this busy season. It's that winter time that we need to have the time to plan, that we have the time to think on what we want to do, because now it's just dealing with listening the customers. Now I feel more prepared on getting a phone call than I felt when I started. But now I feel like, okay, sometimes there are hard calls and It's this busy time where you just feel like you're holding so many plates and you want to convey to them, listen, we're doing our best and we are going to keep looking for more ways to make things, go smoother.
Now that you're in this leadership position, you've taken on this team of four. What would be your advice to anyone about training and how to have a successful training with a new team?
So having this training, it's kind of funny because you can talk about methods and ways to do, but in reality, I really accept when people start taking the calls because you can take and do everything at the same time and you're really feeling the pressure. And I have an amazing team and I will tell you that I'm grateful because they all came in a time that it was important for me to teach me something new. And now I feel like I have a team that I have my friend Maya that helps me on this schedule. I have my friend Maria that is helping me in a little bit. I have Nick that is helping me follow up with issues. I have Nanette that helps me understand and explain to the clients how important it is, like what we do, what are the expectations, arrival time, help me do this follow up that me myself I can't be doing all these things and also trying to assist my technicians when there are some updates that we don't know and trying to get access to things because irrigation we need access for us to perform some services and there are times that clients do allow us to go into their houses. There are times that we just it's just so many things can happen and having this training it's weird because I went for vacation. So let me tell you something. Last year, and my partner being my boss as well, and we just went out for a week after my son's vacation, and I had Nick, who is someone that has been working here for some time, and he was on the field, but he's also graduating from college now, and he just came to help me on the office because we were sending reports on the Friday, and I couldn't like I needed someone and he was ready to take this on and he came on board and I don't know having this energy and this young positive attitude on like what, let's make this work. And it's funny because I have this phrase here to remind me of him, be kind, be useful, because that's how I see this guy, and that's how the training just goes well because it's hard for me to tell you. And today I was a little bit nervous about this because it's something that I was really looking forward to. And I did call my team up and I was like, guys, I really want to go and feel like my emails, the email is cleaned up. We got back to this clients here and they just jumped on it. In 1 hour, they were able to get the clients their answers that they were looking for. I don't know. There is not a playbook, for training.
Mm.
It's about the people again, because he brings in ideas that sometimes I'm too not, let's not do it now. But at the same time, I do rethink and I'm like, yes, this is good. Let's go. They have the power. And I just realized that, trying to roll alone, it's just not going to work. Yeah, I was just surviving and I feel like we can try it with a good team. Yeah,
I
that's it.
think this is great. You said something, there is no playbook, it's about the people. And I think that really sums up what you're trying to say, that it's really about how you're hiring and who you're hiring, and are they willing to jump in and do something new? Are they willing to jump in and help you work in an efficient way so that you're able to actually step back and do some working on the business as opposed to working in the business? And that goes, we often talk about that phrase when we're talking about ownership of a business, but it really is true when it comes to different factions of your operations and of your business. And I love that you bring it up because it's not just for owners and operators, it's for everyone, it's for all leadership.
Do believe that. And it's funny to see myself as a leader right after this time and 20 years and out there and all these opportunities that just life presents to you. And it's a lot of pressure. And I did mention to my team on this training that we had my full team, my guys on the field, that I could not do my job if I didn't have them. So they know I appreciate them very much. And in the training, I did like to put in there that pressure is a privilege. And that's how I like to see the summertime and my journey in this company and the irrigation system, just because it's like, why not? Rest.
I love to say a
Make
pressure
it
is a
happen.
privilege. You said pressure is a privilege. That is an incredible, that's incredible. That's an
But I'm
incredible
trying
way.
to just like pass this along to my team and tell them like, hey, we train for this, guys. We have the winter, we talked about a lot, and we have some fun times here and there. Friday, sometimes they let us drink. They even buy us IPAs, and I'm a huge fan sometimes. So, like it's a good environment. So they all have this feeling like, not, what, let's just make it happen. Let's just take the chance and I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I don't want to
love
sound
that.
coachy, but yeah.
So, having the right team allows you to stress less, but also the right technology also helps in that department as well. You solved
Good.
a real problem with how overhead and indirect costs were being tackled and how they're being tracked. Can you walk us through what that problem actually looked like for your day to day and how did you crack it?
Yeah, it's funny because it's the process of the Spire implementation, I feel like, and we were in a moment where now we understand a little bit more than we understood like a year ago. So before there was this whole magic of dumping everything in the same bucket and calling it indirect time. And when my boss was gonna check the numbers, he was like, okay, what's this big pile of indirect here, guys? And it was all this checking around and trying to understand what happened here, what happened there. And we do have a really good structure here at Corbett. We have the service division side, we have the consulting and technology side, and we have the installation side as well. So, there is this divisions and being able to understand with Aspire's help after some talks and understandings on how we could make that happen, like understand how we could allocate the proper, like, so if my team is at the shop now doing something on inventory side, that's coming out of my budget. So it's the thing that it takes us accountable for our team, only our team. And before, when we are looking at this big pile of hours or big tickets, we could not. So having, being able to understand this piece, it's been the first year that we're trying this, and we are working with a budget now, which does help me understand and plan like what can we do for our team, and we have goals to hit, and Aspire has this amazing dashboards where we can see and like every day understand a little bit more. I feel like before we were making it work, but now we're making it work and making it work better for us, so we have the quick information here, and these talks with people, these webinars that I go to, these community topics that I read something here and there, it's just building to this whole technology being able to make things work.
I know that you're in this first year after understanding with this allocation. Have you seen any improvement or where have you seen the benefits?
So, for example, last year, the divisions, they were set, but we didn't really have budgets or goals to be hitting or really understanding where we are going down, where we are spending money. Do we really need this piece of equipment? And now being able to manage this, because if before it was going only to one big bucket, how could we? So now every month, I feel like meetings are a lot sometimes, but at the same time, they are necessary when they're important. So once a month, we can quickly review it in the budget meeting, see where my team and where we are at, how much time we spent, because I'm overhead. I am not direct to any other, I'm not direct to any job or anything like that. So I am part of that. My team that is with me, it's part of that. So if I have a quick way to manage that, because don't get me wrong, my team is mine, but my team is also helping in the other divisions. They are helping me here, 3 hours here and there, one of these days. And then they're also helping the consulting and technology area where my friend Maya is helping develop this amazing map system. So she can kind of flipping two sides. And it's amazing to tell you that this girl was able to make the winterization schedule in like a month that she was working here after this training starts. Like this training steps that we had, it was just in the action. But if the person don't really want that, like there is so much I can say and talk, but if there is not the wish or the desire of making it happen, it's just why, and that I do
Yeah.
feel in my team. So yeah.
Yeah, you need that desire and that drive, and also that you're doing your due diligence. It sounds like it's just making things easier for you to really get an understanding of the overall health of the business. Now, I know that you're dealing with irrigation. It's a little bit different than your traditional landscape services. And Aspire did not have a solution necessarily for when it came to mapping out irrigation systems specifically. So you built one. So tell me about that moment when you realized this thing that we built ourselves is really actually able to help a lot of other companies.
That's fun because my boss always likes to tell this story on how he realized that being able to, map this with information of geolocation and really being able to get to he always likes to say the story of a valve box, and I'll tell you about because this is the irrigation side of things. When we go and we install these valve boxes with these valves in there, we need to service them to make sure everything is working well, there is no water passing through, and all those little magics. For us to be able to service them, we need to find them. And what happens is there is a system built 15 years ago, and this valve box is installed, and then things get moved out of the way, things get repositioned, a shed is built, the pool is built, and all these notes that before literally were explaining like, okay, it's close to this shed house and under this tree, things change and mulch come and then new law comes, and this was really a problem for us, and we didn't really have a place to solve this information in a easy way in Aspire in the beginning. So they developed this with help of a lot of great people, and have this information there, taking calls from clients and being able to, okay, what's your address? I look into the property name, it's how it's set up for us in the system. I click in there and it gives me the information on the number of zones, what kind of controller they have. I have a picture of the controller. If a client has a problem that they have a main line leak, and I see a picture of where is their shut off valve, and they just send to them and like, hey, go under the basement. It's all this information that it's housed in years of experienced people that worked here, but sometimes no longer work. It's just being able to pass this along for new people coming in and trying to help. And it's nice to say that my team is building this, so it's a new adventure that we are trying to roll out, and it's something that we do believe that can be changing. So
This new system is called Green Gap, and this is a new service that you guys are providing. What does it feel like to watch something that you helped develop become its own service and its own offering?
amazing, because as I was about to say, like I do see as a training tool as well. I did see there's people passing along information in weird ways, and there is this new technician is starting now. When he's getting to the house, there is not that weird feeling of where are my things. We can tell the client because we have this information, and we can be like, hey, I do see that this is located there. It's my first time here, but I know what I need to know, and I can do my work the way that I need to do. And it just reduces the number of phone calls, because the hard time of being in this position where you're trying to make everything happen, it's trying to be able to communicate to everybody, but in the work hours time. So there is so much you can talk and say in a day. So minimizing this kind of guessing, it's like a really nice to see this fine. And I do trust that this is helping me at least. And I do take some, phone calls, and I don't know. I really hope they fly on it, and I wish them the best. And yeah.
I think it's incredible, and I can't wait to hear how it's going and how it grows over time. Let's talk about building community. I know that in irrigation and landscape, there's a lack of representation when it comes to women. And it is something that you feel, I'm sure, as a woman in the industry. I think women have so much to offer: detail oriented, project management, being able to have a communication style that feels encouraging and nurturing, as well as having, some gravitas behind it as well. So, how do you think we should be building community within this industry?
Oh, it's fun towards the word build because I am a civil engineer, and I love that you're making me realize that because, and I do have amazing coworkers. My boss lady here, who is the installation coordinator, she's somebody that I do look up. She has been working here forever, and I do see her as somebody that is here to help me, to teach me, to kind of mentor me. And not only the woman, I'm not gonna say like the men around me, they're awesome, like it's not about that, guys, you got it. But it's time for sometimes other women see this as a chance and an opportunity for them to try to make their life a little better. And it doesn't need to be with irrigation, it can be with whatever makes sense for their life. But if life gives you an opportunity, see what you can learn, if it makes sense for you. And if it doesn't make sense for you, thank for the opportunity. I would take the lessons, and it's how I like to see life. And for women now being a mom in this part on building too, like I feel so grateful for having my son now, and I feel I have a reason to build things now. I feel like I have a base to be building something great for me, for my life, for my family, for my partner. And it's funny because all this family environment and these people that are surrounding you, just giving you, here, go get it, girl, why not? And doing these fun activities, having this new young generation come over, like, it's just different, and having these new perspectives and new ways of doing things, and then getting to know I don't know, it's just something that it's worth seeing the future. I don't know why there is not a lot of women here. Maybe because the guys do he needs to dig a lot of holes and do some hard work, and it's okay. Some women can do that, and but it's women's choice. Do what it makes sense for you. If it makes sense for you to try to install irrigation, that's my goal actually. Install my own irrigation system. I don't want to be out on the field. I respect the guys for that. I think I know what I'm doing a little bit more now, but it's this trying it out and trying to, if you have someone to look up, it just makes life easier, and someone to give you a hand when you need. I don't know. It's all about the people, I guess.
It's all about the people. It sounds like mentorship has really been a place where you found some empowerment. People being able to tell you, go get it, go for it. Like, if that's something you want. And I think very often as women, we're not necessarily offered opportunities within these industries because it's just not thought of. So, finding those mentorships, finding people who are in the same boat, who have lived that experience and can give you that edge and that encouragement to, like, go get it, girl. Like, that's what it's really all about, just opening eyes and opening doors. And I think that you're doing that in a great way. Is there a way that listeners can reach out to you and maybe start these conversations and find those opportunities to hear, go get it, girl?
If people want to follow me on, not follow, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm just getting into this new world of understanding how that works. And it's nice to see the community it's built in there, and how much people connect with each other and really try to push to, okay, go get it. Like it's fun,
Amazing.
it's nice, and I don't know. Yeah, I love that. So yes, by all means, send me a message, and respect if I don't. I mean, I'm terrible on replying, but we will find a way. We always do. That's
Yeah.
how. Yeah.
It's busy season. Everyone is feeling it. I don't think anyone will will be too
Right?
worried, They get it. They know. They're also
Love
busy
that.
right now. Tis the season, right? Oh my goodness. Caren, thank you so much for coming on Toolbox for the Trades.